and welcome to the shop. Today's video is a continuation of the Carveco video that I put up last on my YouTube channel, and that is we're going to make a Z height touch plate for this CNC router. Well, actually it'll be for my little one, which is just off camera here as well. I've got some 12mm aluminium, and this is 4 inches by 4 inches, but the piece that I'm actually cutting out is only 75mm, and so it's going to be 2 layers of this, and it'll be screwed together. I'll fetch you in a little bit closer to see the setup that I've got here. So what I've got here is a milling engineer's vise. It's really heavy. It's probably 25 pounds, something like that in weight. And I've already got one piece of aluminium in there clamped up. Because I am cutting aluminium on a CNC router, I require quite a bit of cooling because these are high RPM router head cutters or spindles. You know, we're going to be doing most of the work with a 6mm or 1/4 of an inch 2-flute end mill. So to be able to get the torque of this motor, you know, to keep it all running, although this is a very small tool, you have to have this spinning around about 15,000 RPM, between 15,000 and 18,000 RPM. Otherwise it's just going to bog down and stall and snap the tool. So you've got to keep it spinning relatively quickly. Normal circumstances, if you was on a milling machine, you'd be running this cutter at probably somewhere in the region of about 3,000 to 4,000 RPM maximum. You do it slightly different with the CNC router. We require cooling. Now, I've always cut aluminium on my CNC router, or when I've cut it on my CNC router, I always use WD-40 as a cutting and cooling agent, and I'm normally here with an air gun blowing the swarf and debris away, which are very, very fine chips. But recently I've acquired an impulse compressor, which is normally used with a laser for blowing air for the nozzle. This one's one of the maximum size that you can get. They're also used for aquariums as well, for blowing the air into the water of aquariums. And just as a bit of a demonstration, I'll show you, they're quite effective actually. And although they make a noise, it's much quieter than the big air compressor running over there. So I'll just switch it on so you can have a listen. So it's not too bad. It's fairly quiet, and the airflow is, you see it's blowing this plastic around, and it's quite powerful. It's really all the air that you need. I've actually have something like a fog buster on order, but it hasn't arrived yet. So I'm really going to jerry rig this up. So I have the tube something like this, sort of directed in the area where we want the airflow to be, and I'll just be doing the video with this just to see if, hope it all sort of is efficient enough to work, do what I want it to do. Because this router table is MDF, this wasteboard is MDF, I didn't want to bolt this straight down onto the MDF and spray it with WD-40 and what have you, and because it'll make this swell. Even though it's WD-40, it'll ruin the tabletop. So I thought, okay, so what I've done is I've built just a very quick wooden box to fit this in, and it's all screwed in there very firmly, firm enough for this particular job. So this box is to contain as many chips coming off it as I can, so spreading all over the machine and everywhere, and to contain any WD-40 that's sprayed off, and to, if there's any sort of build-up of WD and it sort of runs out anywhere, I've got it actually clamped down onto a bit of a plastic sheet that hopefully is going to stop 99% of anything going onto my wasteboard. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start everything up, and we will home the machine, and then we will bring it over and make the G54, or the start of the program here, the 00, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the first operation is I'm manually going to take the head over and bring it forward, because otherwise we're going to be waiting an age for Mach 3 to do it automatically. So okay, now we'll ask Mach 3 to 0 the machine hop. Okay, so I've got a center tool in the chuck now, so I'm going to take it over now and register the G54, or the work offset. Now, work offset is quite simply, you're telling the computer and the router then where exactly the start of the job is. Now, in this particular case, using Carveco, I started the job, or made the 00 position in the center of the work, and I got a little X on here, and we're going to register that now. I'm going to take the tool over and register in Mach 3 that this is where the start position of the job is. Okay, so I'm going to. This is moving now too fast for really setting the Z height and any of the axes actually. So I'm just going to slow it down in Mach 3, and I'll show you that. So to slow the feed rate down, you'll notice here it's in a percentage form. So just by clicking on the minus here, it's very easy to take the speed down. 10% should be fine. But we're going to do another thing here. We're going to load the program, the first program, which is just really marking or spot marking where the drill needs to drill, just to stop the drill from wandering. So we'll go File, Load G-code, and it's on my desktop. Let me scroll down. That's the drilling strategy there, but I have a spot drilling strategy. Double click and it's in. So now we will set the 00 of the part. What we'll do is we're going to get it right over that. I don't know whether the camera's picking up that X. There's a faint X there that I've just scribed. So let's take it down. That's still a little fast. I'm going to slow it up a bit more. I'm just going to find the center of that X, down a little touch more, and back a little touch. So I'm trying to keep my head out of the way of the camera as well. You know, that will do absolutely fine. So now I'm going to just drop it down a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Now what I do is I just put a piece of paper underneath here, and I just move the paper slightly until the tool just traps the paper. There, just got it there. Okay, so just trapped it, and now I'll show you what to do in Mach 3. So in Mach 3, after you've found that X, Y, Z 0 position, you just make sure that you're See, now that's machine home. This is now the part home position then, or part 0. What we need to do now is come here onto the X 0. Alright, so it's X0, Y0, Z0. Now, a very important thing you should do, and that is come here to the regen and press that, and you notice it go right through the program or the G-code, and then this will jump into the middle of the screen. Now that's Mach 3 sort of rejigging itself and making sure that it's on the same page as you. Okay, so we're just going to lift the tool up off the piece of work. Now I'm just going to raise the jog level up to about 10%, which is fine, and now we will prepare to do this first not drilling strategy but spot drilling strategy. Okay, so we'll remove the piece of paper, just give it a little tiny bit of WD-40. I'm not using air blowing or anything like that at the moment. Let's start the router head up, or the spindle. A little bit faster. Okay, and we will start this program going. Okay, here we go. And that's it.